Hello. Hey, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Football Trio, episode 1.17. We are previewing the semifinals of the AFCON 2023. So we've dealt with a lot of drama. We saw a lot of it play out in the quarterfinals. Well, tomorrow is the semifinals. And so Ivory Coast is heating up. Ivory Coast is heating up for another live show and packed day of entertainment between Nigeria and South Africa and Cote d'Ivoire and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Ladies and gentlemen, today with me on the trio, football encyclopedia in human form, none other than Sir Ajab. Hello, Mr. Ajab. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Doing good. I know you're excited. Nigeria is in the semifinals. You talked about it a lot. So, Ajab is joined by the analyst himself, True Lion. How are you, Mr. True Lion?
I'm okay. A little bit under the weather, but I'm fine.
Yeah, I can tell. Ginger, honey, and lemon. That will help a little bit. Hopefully, that gets you in the mood for tomorrow's game because we have it all. We have a lot of talking points, a lot of things to preview about the semifinals. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. To get everybody, all the four teams that are here, we can all say deserve to be here. And so on this episode of the Football Trio, we're going to talk about these games, preview them, and of course talk about our predictions and any other talking points that you guys bring up in the comments. But before we jump in, please like, subscribe, share, share. Very important so that we can get to the get through the algorithms, all that stuff, right? We got to 100 subscribers recently, so really thank you guys for keeping the rendezvous and for being for trusting us to come to you daily or semi-daily or maybe weekly. I don't know anymore, but yeah, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Okay, gentlemen, let's talk. Nigeria versus South Africa. Nigeria versus South Africa. Um, Nigeria impressed a lot in the quarters. South Africa impressed a lot in the quarters. How do you see this playing out? Ajab, you want to go?
Yeah, it's two teams that have very similar pattern. They're very cautious of the way they defend. So it's going to be a game where it's going to be a very physical game because both teams are also very physical. And I noticed the way both teams play too. They have strikers who are not very interested in scoring. They're interested in holding up the balls for the others to play. Yeah, they both have four clean sheets. South Africa has considered two, though while Nigeria considered one. And it's also important that to mention that South Africa considered their two goals in just one game, the very first game, where they have similar characteristics because Nigeria decided to play offensive football the first game, they didn't win, and then they shifted to a back three, more defensive minded counter type of play. South Africa went against Mali, tried to play some stylish football. They lost 2-0 from the second game against Namibia. They switched the pattern. Same way they play four defense, then 4-4-2-1, but they're more defensive than the offensive way they played against Mali. Nigeria actually changed entirely the way they play the formation. So it's going to be a game where you're going to see two teams that are going to be very cautious, waiting for the other one to blunder and then they hit. I'm not hoping to see anything that is going to come out and play like some other teams have been coming out to play against Nigeria or Morocco came out to play against South Africa and they got hurt. Cape Verde came and played against South Africa. They went to penalties. So this is going to be a game where South Africa is going to watch Nigeria wait for them to play. They too are going to be waiting for Nigeria to play. So it's going to be a game. It's not going to be a boring game, but it's going to be a game where both teams are going to be a little bit cautious, hoping to hit on the counter, and then maybe no one will be able to go all through, and then we might end up seeing maybe penalty shootouts or maybe someone scores in the first half or the end of the second half, and then it ends. But I see. If you ask me, I would say Nigeria is the favorite for the game.
Great. Thank you, Ajab, for that point. Appreciate that. Um, these two teams are going to meet in the World Cup qualifiers. How do you see this, the analyst? A dress rehearsal for the qualifiers coming, or a situation where the Bafana is going to successfully clip the wings of the soaring eagle per se?
Well, no, I think both teams actually focus on making it to the finals. What South Africa must realize is that Oshimen has been the joker, and I think Oshimen just passed the fitness test because what I realized is that Nigeria has been running him to the ground. You know, the Heat playing so many minutes that might come to bite them if they don't try to manage his minutes from now onwards. So what South Africa must also do is that they must realize that most Nigerian goals that have been scored is like in transition. When you lost the ball, Nigeria transitions very fast because they got fast forwards or strikers. You know, like Moses, like Lukman, who runs down the middle. So they play close to each other. The strikers play very close to each other and allow, the wing backs to overlap. So South Africa must look to defend that very well. And if they can defend that very well, then they have a chance to top Nigeria.
All right. Talking about injuries, I think the point that Ajab raised, Oshimen, you also mentioned Oshimen passing a late fitness test. Hugo Bruce confirmed that his winger, his high flying winger, Maseko, will not be part of the semi. So, a question for you guys: do you see Hugo Bruce pulling a fast 1 year or pulling a tactical masterclass here to overcome Nigeria's prowess? Because if you look at it, history is on Nigeria's side in this fixture. In this fixture, right? Nigeria. The last time South Africa beat Nigeria was in 2017, right? And the previous two times that these two teams have met in the semifinals of the AFCON, the Super Eagles, of course, emerged victorious. I think the last time was 2000, the year 2000. So what do you guys see happening here in terms of predictions outside of just the tactical debate you guys have already started here?
Well, I think that Ugo Boss, he adjusts. He's reactive. He's also very reactive coach. You can see in 2017, the last time Cameroon actually beat Egypt was a while ago. I remember 2008, Egypt beat us in finals of the African Nations Cup. So Igor Bros is not someone that's going to be intimidated just because the records say so. He's a patient coach and he will look to read what Nigeria is also trying to do and react to that. So it's going to be a very competitive game regardless.
Okay, Ajab.
Yes, like True Lion said, it's going to. He's proven from 2017 and right now that he approaches the game based on the opponent. So he's someone that's going to try to match. I think he's been watching the way Nigeria is played and he's going to try to match the physicality. And because that's where Nigeria thrives a lot. The Onyeka in the midfield has been a bulldozer recently. This man has stepped up his energy level. He will be also in the midfield. And like True Lion said, the pace, they have very pacey wingers. And Osimhen too is very pacey. Not just physical, but he's also very pacey. So, but the center backs for South Africa too are some very physical and fighters. They are as physical as the Angolan guy, the Gaspar guy. So but Siemens is going to have a really tough game tomorrow against those guys. But the Moseka guy, he came in. I think he came in the second half and then injured himself against.
Mhm.
So I think he's not going to be like a real worry for them because he's not a natural starter for the team. But it's going to be a good game. Like I said, South Africa, they have 8 or 9 guys that play for the same club. So the chemistry is there, the understanding is there in itself, be it that they play in Africa. Because some people will try to downplay that, oh, where do they play? They play in the African League. I say, okay, they play in the African League. It's a team that thrives in the African Champions League every year, year in, year out. And they've proven already making it to the semifinals tells it's not a fluke. So it's going to be a game that with Nigeria. I don't think Nigeria is going to minimize because from the way the coach of Nigeria has been proven, even against Guinea-Bissau, he decided to play his defensive play. Playing against Cameroon that has not been good up through the tournament, he decided to stick to his 3 at the back. So I don't think it's a game where Pesoro is going to try to take chances because this is his first AFCON outing. So it's not like he has experience in the AFCON. At least Hugo Bros has that experience and maybe he knows how he can manage some of his games. So it's gonna be like a real physical game between two teams that like True Lion said, both teams really want to play the final and none of them got to this stage by fluke. So I'm looking forward to seeing a very good game.
And let me
Okay,
let me also
go.
throw this in, right. I think Ugo Bros would also look to maybe stay tight, carry the game maybe into extra time, because if a game go into extra time, that's going to test the fitness of a guy like Oshimen, because I believe that without Oshimen starting or playing in that Nigerian lineup, I don't think that Nigeria has a backup that can match the type of work that he does. That can bring danger, the type of danger that he does. So if this game goes longer, then it's going to be an advantage to South Africa.
Yeah, and it might also play with the psychology that if they're going to penalties, the fact that Williams saved 4 penalties, it might play into the opponents too. So yeah, that's something too to watch out for.
All right. We're looking at very tactically very defensive minded teams in this semi-final, right? Nigeria has conceded only one goal throughout in 90 minutes, that is throughout the tournament so far. South Africa has conceded two, which happened only on the first day of play in the AFCON, right? And that was against Mali. So we're looking at very two defensively minded teams. Is there an expectation here to see that these teams will just sit back and allow this go to penalties, like you guys said? Or do you see Nigeria actually coming out and playing for a win here? Because you know what it does to a player when they have to go to 90 minutes and then extra time. Because you see the way South Africa went through, they had to go all the way to penalties, right? Um, Same thing with Nigeria. No, I think Nigeria didn't go to penalties. They
No,
played
they
100.
haven't. Yeah, they haven't. They didn't. They won 1-0 in 90 regular minutes against
Yeah,
Angola.
90 minutes regulation, so it plays on your mind, like, what are your thoughts in terms of game plan for these guys? I know that there's all the tactical stuff we've talked about, but what do you think, how do you think these teams approach, or what makes them cross the line or get that victory, for each of them? I mean, what are the pluses and maybe the cons, if there's any?
Yeah, I think if you see the way South Africa have been played in the last game, they created many opportunities. The goalkeepers made very good saves. So it's not a team that will just come and sit and defend and hope that they go to a penalty. No, that's not their style. It just happened that they had two great against Cape Verde. The game they had opportunities, some great saves from the goalkeeper, both goalkeepers and stuff like that. That's why it was 0-0. However, going into the game tomorrow, I think they will attack Nigeria, and Nigeria also has the way they're set up tactically. They don't only defend. They hit you on counter attack. They put pressure on you. Oshimen puts pressure on the defense when you try to build it from behind. So they are two well coached teams that will go for the win. They will not just sit there and wait to go for penalties, because again, if this game goes to penalties, then it's big advantage to South Africa. We've seen what their goalkeeper is able to do.
Yeah, I share the same view, but yeah, with Tru3lion. However, I was just thinking that at some point, like I said, the fact that William made 4 penalty saves, it's going to play into the mind of the Nigerians. So at some point in that game, if they're heading towards like 80, 90 minutes and no goals are coming in, I'm thinking the Nigeria coach might try to make some offensive changes. That's how I'm thinking, because I don't think you want to go. Just the fact that South Africa, the keeper, made 4 penalty saves. I don't think any team will want to go to penalty shootout with South Africa. You might go and you end up winning them, but I don't think you want to go. You want to get to that stage, right? So I think Pesora at some point might say, no, these guys. I don't think we should go to penalty shootout with these guys. Let me make some sort. Maybe he can switch from a 3-5-2 to a 4-4, and then add a second striker to play up front with Osimhen. Or if Osimhen is not there, bring in someone like Terem Muffin, who hasn't played any game, and who is also a good striker in the French League One. So
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ajab, for that. So my thinking is this, guys. Tomorrow is going to be a fun game either way. 12 noon, tune in at the Mola, Lukman, Oshiman, what's his name again? The guy in South Africa, Williams, all of them. Let's tune in. Let's support let's support our teams and see if we can carry them across the line with our support. Okay, that's it for this. Wait, but before we go, score predictions. Score predictions. Haha. You guys thought I was gonna let you off the hook there. Score predictions. What do you guys think? How does this end tomorrow?
Nigeria is going to win 1-0.
Okay. What about you, True Lion?
Uh, I have not really put my mind on this to see who actually wins, but I think it's going to be 1-1 tie.
1-1. So it goes to penalties, and we'll see if Williams can repeat what the form he put on display for us in the last in the quarters. Yeah.
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
it's gonna be a 1-1 tie. Then any team can win from there. It's gonna be a 1-1 tie.
Yeah. All right. So, thank you for that part. Nigeria and South Africa. Um, Best of luck to you guys. I mean, it's anybody's game at this point, right? Once you cross the quarterfinals, you're in the semis. Anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. All right, let's preview. Let's jump into Ivory Coast and the DR Congo. DR Congo. Each time they've been in the semifinals, they have won. And each time they've been in the semifinals, in the last two times they've been, they have faced the host country. It was first, what was it, Egypt, and then Nigeria at some point, right? So look, this DR Congo side looks like they're shooting for the finals if history repeats itself. Because again, they're in the semifinals. This is the third semifinals they're playing for the AFCON, and they are in the semifinals playing against the host country again. If history repeats itself,
Third,
they
third,
just get one in over on Cote d'Ivoire.
third time unlucky. Not
Oh,
third time lucky.
well, yep, that will put a twist to third time's a charm. No, all right. So let's talk. DR Congo, Ivory Coast. I don't really know about headlines as far as this game goes, apart from that historical piece of or fact, historical fact of AFCON that I looked up and I read up on, and I was just like, wow. And I know we've talked at length about the prowess of the DR Congo and the Maswakus and the Ruisas and the Chancel Bembas and all that. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts about this game? How do you see it going? How do you see it playing out? Uh, Tru3lion, you want to go or?
Yeah, I think we have seen Ivory Coast in previous games use a lot of their bench, so we know how deep their bench is. However, they're gonna be missing about, I think, 4 players, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Yellow
I
yeah,
think
cards,
four
red
players.
cards.
yeah. I think I'm missing 4 players. So
So they wouldn't have that deep of a bench, as they've used in previous games. And we know how motivated the DR Congo players are, and they are actually tough physically, like at the back, and they're a physical team. They defend well, and they are full of confidence. It's a team actually very, very full of confidence, and I expect them to give Ivory Coast a tough time in this game. And although I've been I despised them somehow, I've gone ahead to check, and given that Ivory Coast will be missing some key players, I think this one will be actually tough for them.
Okay. All right. Ajab, you want to get in on the action here?
yeah, you remember even last time I said Congo. I think I don't know for some reason I just have a feeling that Congo is going to make it to the finals. You never know. The 12 man for sorry, the 12 man for Ivory Coast has proven to us against Senegal and against Mali that these guys watch out with them. But I just have a feeling that Congo is just going to sneak their way to the finals. Just sneak their way to the finals. They're not the kind of team that's going to try to press, and then they'll just play their game. Just cool down the tempo of the game, and then if they get a goal, they get a goal, and they're not horrible. It's not like it's a team that's just they're not horrible. They actually try to play. They have the way of playing, but I think if you notice when they play a team that is defensive, they don't show up. When they play a team that is offensive, they show up. If you come to play them, they play you too. Like you could see against Tanzania, they were just shaky. Against Zambia, they dominated the game even though they came from behind to score. When they played Morocco, they gave Morocco tough times. When they played against who did they beat in the who did they Egypt? They gave Egypt a tough time.
Knocked out
Guinea
Egypt,
too.
yeah.
The Guinea game was Guinea didn't really show up that way. So, but at least they won 3-1. It's not like they won 1-0. So they scored three
Mhm.
goals. So it showed that they also came to play some football. So, but Ivory Coast, even though they're missing 4 players, I will not write them off. But I'll still give it to Congo. It's going to be a tough game, but I'll give it to Congo.
Okay. All right. Well, Opta Analyst has the supercomputer, of course, predicts that the Ivory Coast are the most likely team to win this game, 41.3%, based on match simulations. And there's more to this in the sense that DR Congo has a lot going on, especially the distractions outside of the stadium or outside of Ivory Coast right now in their country, and so it's up to these players to kind of step in there and kind of put a smile on their countrymen's faces. So thinking about Ivory Coast and their story or their journey throughout the tournament, do you think the honeymoon finally comes to rest with Faye as the coach here? Since you're predicting a loss for them, Ajab.
Honeymoon, when you say honeymoon comes to an end, it's like maybe kind of
I mean,
discrediting
it's been
them
a
for,
honeymoon. It's been a honeymoon for the coach. He came in. I mean, he
yeah,
came in at
but
a time when
it
nobody
looks like,
expected Ivory Coast
yeah,
to.
but it looks like he's worked hard. When you say honeymoon, it's like he was just chilling and
I
then
mean,
the
it's still a
opportunities were
honeymoon
coming.
phase. You know
It
what
looks
they
like
call it?
he's, yeah,
Beginner's luck. Let me
and
change.
no,
Okay, let me call it beginner's luck.
it's, I don't know. It's just like if I don't know. It's That's a tough one. But yeah, let's say the honeymoon has come to an end. I wouldn't really call it honeymoon like you said. It's just that he's been working hard for it, so I don't want to call it a honeymoon. But
Mhm.
I just see Congo winning for some reason. So if I see Congo winning and then you say it's honeymoon coming to an end, then I agree with you that honeymoon coming to an end. It may happen the other way around, but I see Congo is not missing any player. Ivory Coast missing four. I think who are they missing? They're missing Casey.
Kessie, yeah,
I
Frank
know they're
Kessie.
missing
And
Kosunu.
Dingra is also injured, right? Oh no, no, he's not
No,
injured.
no, he's back. He
Yeah,
scored.
got a red card.
Yes,
The captain.
two red cards. They had a
Yeah,
red
two
card
red
for
cards.
Mosonu and the young guy,
Traore
Jakate.
and Jakate, red cards.
Yeah,
Then,
Kosunu.
then they have acquired yellow cards.
Yes, I think
They have a
that's
lot of
the other
yellow
two guys
cards
I'm
and red
forgetting. Yeah,
cards.
so it's gonna be a little tough for them. But they have a
Well,
lot.
yeah. Well, I also think that Congo has to defend corner kicks
Yeah,
and free kicks
Mhm.
very well
yeah.
because what's his name? Haller,
Haller,
Sebastian Haller,
Haller
those
is
long
good in the.
balls in.
Yeah, he's good in the air.
Yeah, second balls, they have to just be very, very careful when they play against Ivory Coast.
Okay. All right. It's one of those situations where any team winning at this point will be good. Will be good to go, like I said. But I just feel like Ivory Coast they have ridden their luck so much. Ivory Coast was out of the tournament until what was it? Morocco scored against Namibia, or was it Namibia that tied the game? One
Morocco,
of them.
Morocco beat Zambia, and
Zambia,
Oh,
then
Zambia,
and they
and
celebrated.
then they
Ivorians
came back in.
celebrated, yeah, even more than the Zambians.
Um, in the quarterfinals, we knew that they were out until that last minute goal from Dingra. So I
Yeah,
just feel like the third time is not going to work for them this time. They've
I
ridden their
just,
luck
I
so much.
just, I just believe if anybody looks at as Ivory Coast like that, then you will get knocked out because I look at Ivory Coast as one of the favorites coming into this
yeah,
tournament,
yeah.
and
True, true.
that's who they are, one of the favorites coming into this tournament. So all that talk, yes, they came back from the dead and stuff like that. I mean, that's how the competition was designed, right? The
True,
three
true.
best teams in each group will actually qualify, and they actually qualified. Remember in 1990, Argentina how to qualify as one of the third best, right? Because Romania and
They rode
Cameroon
all the way.
actually, and
Same,
what happened? Argentina went
finals.
to
Went all the way, yeah.
the finals.
Same thing with Italy in '94. Italy was third in the group with where you had Ireland and some other teams. Italy too finished third in the group, and then they ended up playing the finals. So
Yep.
you never know.
And
Like you said,
that same World Cup, Argentina went to Australia to look for their qualification. They had to play good lottery playing to Australia to qualify
yeah,
to come to the World Cup. Yeah, so I mean, if you look at a team like that, then I'm sorry, they're gonna beat you. So I look at Ivory Coast as still one of the favorites. When you look at the remaining four that remain, you say Nigeria, Ivory Coast, maybe South Africa, then Congo. But
Congo,
again,
yeah.
you know, that's football. Anything can happen.
All right. Well, like I said, history is on the side of the DR Congo in this one, especially because they are the dark horse they find themselves in semis, and nobody expected them to be there. So it's kind of like the revelation team. Well, between the elephant and the leopard, who wins the fight in the forest? You never know. So hey, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. 3 o'clock is kickoff time for them. So let's tune in and see how that goes. Score predictions before we jump onto the comments, gentlemen.
Two, 2-1, 2-1 Congo.
In favor of Congo, okay.
Yeah.
True
I mean,
Lion.
this a tough one. I basically don't see Congo scoring. Let me see.
They
I
scored
mean, it's a
three
tough
in
one.
this in
Congo
this in the
scoring two goals
quarters.
against.
They scored three against Guinea in the
No,
quarterfinals.
but I watched that game, man. That was not convincing. Those goals were not convincing.
Yeah.
If Congo has to win, it's gonna be 1-0.
1-0.
Is that
Yeah.
I just have a feeling that Ivory Coast is going to score. That's what I just have a feeling Ivory Coast is going to score. That's
Well,
why I said,
let me just stick at 1-0.
yeah.
Mhm.
Or maybe Congo win in penalties. You never know.
Chancel Mvemba, Masuaku, Yohan Wissa,
Mm.
uh, Cedric Bakambu,
Bakombo, yeah.
Bakombu, and then they have Charles Piquel.
Yeah.
Guys, this is the AFCON winning team, man. This is the AFCON championship team. These guys are around right around that time when your soccer is right, your football is right on point. So I don't know. I don't know. Ivory Coast doesn't have names, then. Ivory Coast doesn't have
They
names you
do.
can
Who tells you
rely
that?
on.
They do. They have more names even than Congo.
Nah,
They have
I
more
don't see
names.
it happening. I don't see it happening. I'm looking at the roster, I'm just like shaking my head. But anywho. Look, we've come here many times. We've talked about how teams are better on paper and they've disappointed gravely, right? So
Yeah.
any team that can knock out the reigning champions in the tournament, hey, has a shoe in to make it to the finals and become the champions themselves, right? So let's jump into the comments here and see what the folks say. Bitakola, greetings to you guys. Hello, Bitakola. Hope you're well. The grill master himself. Zago, he says it's going to be a tough game. I think he was talking about South Africa and Nigeria.
Yeah.
Very correct. It's going to be an amazingly tough game. And I can't wait to see that tussle between Vala and Osimhen. I just
Yeah.
get the feeling Osimhen may not start this game. I don't know why. This late fitness test thing always comes up. So who knows? We'll see
He's
how
gonna
the coach
start.
does it.
I think
Yeah.
it will be. I think it will be better for him to start
He's gonna
if he
start.
Okay.
has if he has health issues, because if he's not fit and then you put him in and then he hurts himself, you're gonna take him off. So
You have to
that's
take
one
him off.
spot you're losing
Okay.
already. You understand? So I think it's
Mhm.
better he starts than he comes in and then they have to stop him again if something
Yeah, but
happens.
what if you start and there's a game plan and 10 minutes into the game, he's being subbed off and the game plan, they now have to go to game plan B.
Yeah, at least they have a plan B. But at least you're not losing one spot. That would have been good
That
for
makes
everyone.
sense.
But the
That
problem
makes
is that
sense.
the Nigerian coach, he doesn't make that many subs too, so it might not
All
be a
right.
big deal.
Cool beans. Noella Chair, faithful follower here. Hey Noella. Ajab, I was waiting for your predictions. Okay, you got them.
Yeah, I
You
get, I
got
get, I
them.
give my predictions.
Yep.
1-0 for Nigeria,
1-0
2-1
for
for Congo.
Nigeria
Yeah,
and 2-1 for DR Congo. We'll see
yeah,
how that turns out tomorrow. We can always roll the tape if we need to confirm. Asongu, thank you so much for being on. I tuned in late on here. Sorry about that. We do have to talk about those notifications because I think you're not the only person who is complaining about those. I don't know if that's because you didn't get a notification early enough, but I feel fatigue may play a part in South Africa's game. Okay. Most
yeah.
of them play for the same team, and I think their league ended shortly before the tournament. Oh,
Yes. That's a
okay.
point. They played.
Good point.
Yeah, that's a point I didn't make.
It means they are fresher, right?
No, their league ended
No,
1 week.
no.
Their
Their
league
league just
ended
ended. So they are
one
one
week
out.
1 week before AFCON, and they played about 31 games.
So it means
Yeah,
they
they
are
have not
fresher
had time
because
to rest.
those coming from the pro, their league is still going on. So they left their league and came in and came
Yeah,
in.
but
No.
They didn't have
Think
time to
about
rest.
it.
yeah, True
South
Lion.
Africa's team is full of Mamelo Sundown
Yeah,
players.
but the issue is the pro league guys. They play lesser games. South African, they've played about
Mhm.
31 games this season already. So the league
Yeah.
ended after about 31 games. So and then they're 1 week after the AFCON. So maybe it's going to play a part on them.
Yeah, because I don't think they've had time to rest and reset. It's kind of tough. But hey, who knows? We've not seen that because they've still been
Yes,
playing
exactly.
wholeheartedly football, jumping, tackling, everything.
Yeah,
So
we've not seen that yet.
yeah, we've not seen that fatigue yet, but that's a good point. That's a really good point. I didn't think of that. Zago, honeymoon. I think you're with Ajab on that one. I was just talking about the fact that when a new coach comes in, there's still that so much love going around, right? Like if Song gets fired today, for example, the new coach will get a lot of love for the first 2 weeks or months until he
Yeah.
starts losing games.
So everyone is
Um,
going to, yeah, every player is going to try to impress, right? The new coach.
Exactly. So
I think
that's
I
what I
think
meant. I didn't really mean it
I
in
think
terms of how you understand the word honeymoon, but that was what I was driving at.
yeah,
And then you mentioned Italy '94. You want to say something, True Lion?
yeah, I think to be honest, Ivory Coast has not impressed me with their game, although they have been winning.
Hmm.
Let's look at like the previous game that they won. They had two opportunities, right? and that they concretized. But
Hmm.
we saw how Mali manhandled Ivory Coast. So it's more of like they were more clinical. Mali wasn't clinical enough. So I don't think it's a team that has their own destiny in their hands. It's just that they have got that 12 man, and then I don't think that coach. I wouldn't rate Faye, whatever his name is, Faye with just 3 games coming in and
Yeah, yeah, yes,
he's
yeah.
winning. I think it's just the adrenaline flowing and what the Hemley flowing for them.
Emily.
For me, yes,
Yeah,
they are not consistent for me. I
the
mean, they are
Hemle,
not convincing.
the Hemle.
Yeah, they are not convincing for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that I'm a fan of Africans coaching African teams, so that's why if you ask me, I'll say yeah. I'm not going to overrate or hype Five, but I think if they want to give a chance to an Ivorian, maybe they should give it to Five because at least he's coached them for 2 knockout games and he's taken them to the semis. So yeah, so that's how I look at
Okay.
it.
All right, great, 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 great. So, that's those are great points, guys, gentlemen. Those are really good points, and I appreciate you guys bringing those up. I think what is it? Zago agrees,
He said
right? Zago agrees. It's a good point about.
he said so.
Um,
Which excuse?
next,
That
go ahead.
excuse belongs. He said that excuse belongs exclusively to England. Which
England.
excuse is that? Is it a
Zago,
honeymoon?
you
Maybe it's
care
a
to
honeymoon excuse.
care to elaborate? Maybe he's referring to the honeymoon thing. All right, let's go for the next comment. Asongu says SA played like 30 30-ish games.
30
I think
something
that's what he
games.
means. Yeah.
Yeah.
30 something games.
Mhm.
Tired legs, guys, is what I was saying above. Okay. Tiredness. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a valid point. I mean, I think we all concede that yes, that's a very valid point. It's
Okay.
definitely going to play. Yeah, but we've not seen it happen. We've not seen it happen so far. So you know
Yes.
what? Maybe after the AFCON, the players get to rest, but we've not seen it happen so far. I was really hoping for Angola to go through in the quarters. They were. I mean, their government promised the players all sorts of things. There were
iPhones.
motivations everywhere. Companies were giving up money, promising players each something, and see, they still didn't make it. So you never know. I don't know what motivates South Africa so far, but the Bafana sure look like they can also win it because if they get over Nigeria, I don't see anybody stopping them. But who knows?
It's
Who
just one
knows?
more game. Yeah. And
Yeah.
the South African, if you interviewed more South African fans, they were like quarterfinals is gonna be good for them. So
Mhm,
they've
mhm.
overachieved already.
Exactly. They didn't expect to be here. All
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
The excuse about tiredness. Okay, let's see. Do we have anything on Facebook? I can't access
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah, we
Yep.
have Mbala Fabrice, who says Oreo will be missing also.
Oh,
So Oreo will
that's
be missing. Then he
Yeah.
says Ivory Coast will win because of the big push from supporters.
Mhm.
They don't have a great team on the pitch, but they have a crowd going for them.
12 man.
Congo, like Mali, is lacking experienced players. Experience is key in such a game. They they need nerves to control the game. If they come into the game with the belief and the confidence and control the ball, they will frustrate the crowd. 2-1 South Africa after prolongation. Okay. That's South Africa against Nigeria, right? 2-1 after prolongation. Very tight game. Both teams, Nigeria, South Africa, play almost a similar system in this tournament. They defend in a mid block with little or no risk. Nigeria plays with 6 defenders. South Africa plays. Yeah, I told you last time Nigeria packs the box, right?
Yeah.
Let's call it
Yeah.
as it is. South Africa plays a 4-2-3-1 with 2 number 6s
Yeah. Mukwena
and
and Sitole.
are
Yeah.
great on the counter. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And those South Africans can run. They can
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
I expect Nigeria to take more risk because they have more attacking options. I think Nigeria would not take more risk because we saw what happened.
Yeah.
Before they came to the AFCON, they had
So,
2 games that they drew against low ranked teams. That's why Nigeria has run away from that. Because yes, that's why
Yeah.
Nigeria has
It
run.
was
And
yeah,
you
Blaise,
will see
Blaise.
Equatorial Guinea surprised them in the first game, so they
Yeah.
had to go back to the drawing board and adjust their plan.
yeah, and as we said last time, Oshimen is not clinical. We have to call it. He's not clinical in
Yeah.
this tournament,
Mhm.
and he's not clinical in his club. So yes, they have more attacking options, but they are not scoring as many. I bet South Africa has scored many, more goals than them. So if they open up, it's gonna be about ball protection. He who protects the ball well in the midfield has a chance to win this game. But if you don't protect that ball and lose that ball, man, believe me, those South Africans can run, man.
South Africa has scored 6 goals in 2 games, four
In two
against
games
Namibia, two against Morocco.
against
That's it.
Mali.
And then they've
Yep.
0-0 versus Tunisia,
Yep.
0-0 versus Cape Verde, and then 0-2 versus Mali. But something I'm thinking that's going to happen after the AFCON, Nigeria is going to switch back to its attacking football because I don't think you can use this defensive game to for World Cup qualifiers. It
Yeah,
won't.
I think
I don't think so.
yeah, I think Nigeria was missing Didi, right? That was key. As good as you guys are saying, what's his name?
Onyeka,
What
Onyeka,
Onyeka has been. He's not a playmaker from deep. So he's
yes.
not that one who will sit on the ball and try to make
Mhm.
it. That's why you see a guy like what's his name?
Owobi.
Iwobi
He will be helping
playing,
out.
yeah, helping out and playing that deep playmaker.
Yeah.
However, if Didi is there, you see Iwobi
Push.
shoot more higher
Mhm.
and be more comfortable playing behind those. Yeah, that's right. But when you are not, you don't have a Didi in your team, then you cannot take so many risks, because
It should be a
Didi
fun
can hold the
competition.
ball and protect it better than Onyeka.
It should be fun though. It should be fun. I can't wait. I mean,
It's
hey,
going to
we've
be good.
the AFCON has already proven that what we expected. It has already blown past expectations by miles, right?
Mm.
So, we are at a point where it's just only going to get better, especially because many of these teams are going to face each other in the World Cup qualifiers. I
Mhm.
think Nigeria has to face
South
South
Africa.
Africa.
Yeah.
So like I said, maybe a dress rehearsal for what bigger things to come. But whoever goes bows out in this one will have a chance to take their revenge in
The World Cup
June
qualifier.
or whatever. Yeah, when the World Cup qualifiers start.
But
So yes, go ahead, Ajab.
I said Nvala is a beast, so it's going to be a good duel between Nvala and Osimhen. Even the midfield partners, Mokoena versus Iwobi and
Will be
Sipole versus Onyeka. It's going to be. I think it's going to be
it should
a good game. Physical. It's
there
going to
you
be
go.
a really
I think
physical game.
I think from the time we get the lineups, we will know exactly the type of styles that are being adopted. If somebody is going to just go with maybe something they've used before, or the coach is going to try something new. But I don't think the semifinals is where you start trying something new. You
No, no,
just
no,
go with
no, no.
what you've done before that has worked well, and you do it well. So
One thing, one thing I know and that I cannot bet against. I'm not betting against Ugo Bros. That's one thing that I know.
yeah, that's my philosophy is never to bet against Elon Musk. So I agree with you. Don't bet against Hugo Bruce. He has shown that he knows his metal, right? He has shown it. He has shown it over and over again. When you least expect it, he pulls something out of the hat, and it always works. So, gentlemen, I think we have come to the end of our stream today. But I'm really excited for tomorrow. It should be a very fun evening when we come back and or when we reconvene to talk about what we just watched. So to our viewers, thank you so much for keeping the rendezvous again. True Lion, I appreciate you making time, even though you're not well. We really, really appreciate you rolling out of bed and joining us on the stream.
Oh no,
Um,
man! Still rolling out of bed?
yeah,
Man,
you've been down for how many days?
no, but nah. Down doesn't mean that I'm in bed, man. I don't.
Not
I don't.
okay, good. So the ginger and honey is working. Good, 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 good. All right. Glad to have you on the stream, brother. Glad to have you. Ajab, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Any parting words, gentlemen? Any parting words?
Yeah, Nigeria should watch out for the veteran midfielder for South Africa. The guy, one of the Memolity Sundown guys, I think he's the oldest player in the squad, number 11, Zwane, Temba Zwane. He's very good with the ball. So Nigeria should watch out for him. If they only focus on the physicality, that guy may mess up them with the skills. He's a very skillful guy.
Okay. All right. True Lion.
Well, I think one of the reasons I'm going for South Africa is just because I have an allegiance to South Africa. So I want to see them win. And although I also feel for Nigeria and the good football they've been playing, but hey, tomorrow I'm excited to watch them battle out. But for the Congo, I just want the Congo to win. It's about time we see an underdog. Two underdogs making it to the finals. In order to change the narrative.
Mhm.
All right, gentlemen. One thing's for sure. Tomorrow we're going to have exciting football. We're going to probably have 9 last minute goals for sure to change the narrative or scare us or confuse us out of our minds. If you're a betting person, hey, if I'm you, I would try to hedge my bets on both teams because at this point, like I said, anybody can win it. It all it takes is just a few seconds, a few moments of a lapse, and somebody takes advantage, and that's it. Again, thank you for keeping the rendezvous. As what is it? Fabrice Mbala said on Facebook, the 12 man can have an advantage on this one. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and see how it plays out. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for being part of our show. Really appreciate it. And this is goodbye from the football trio. Bye for now.
Thank you, guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.